Hello, everyone. Greetings. And join us for a healing session. Today's day is June 9th, 2019. We have our usual guests here. So, you guys want to introduce yourselves?
Hi, I'm Lonnie. Nice seeing you guys again.
Hola, Nick.
So,
Today we're going to talk about. Oh, sorry.
go ahead and rip.
Today we're going to talk about cloning centers and cloning and the good clones and the bad clones. Yes, good clones exist. Just don't really know about it. I hardly know about it, so yeah, it'll be interesting.
Yeah, it's there's a lot out there on YouTube and in material and in books in regards to um, clones.
Mhm.
We'd really like to use this episode and just ask for spirit's interpretation. I've been able to identify certain individuals, whether they are if I'm actually interacting with a clone, or if I'm interacting what I've come across as the anchor, like the actual sentient born body that has a chip behind the left eye, part of their consciousness transferred, and they have active clones elsewhere. And I've been shown in readings and through connections that a lot of times it's a soul contract for that individual already coming in prior, and that the soul's already agreed upon and already aware of either the potential clone or the exchange in certain parts to for this cloning program to even be present. I would like to identify, well, one, how the viewers can keep an eye out for these things and how they can um, work with if they so choose. At the same time, how if there are negative or darker forces using these technologies, that also means that the higher or lighter forces have these same technologies for their purposes or missions or work. And that's really what we'd like to speak on today, and what we've got questions on. And
It's going to be like Star Wars, Clone Wars,
yeah.
but
Anything
hopefully
you'd
for
like
the
to add, Ivan?
bad.
Yeah, it's going to be like the Twilight Zone, too. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, a lot of cloning is done, depends on the person, of course. A lot of it's done through childhood, depends on their mission. Is it good they get reckless in life and all over the place? That's when a clone energy can come in, or a clone body, however you want to word it, can come in and continue the mission. Might be a different version of you that's involved, but to continue the mission, you can say. Now, it's not always 100% that will be, you know, but if there's injury or something like that, they can work with it. Let's put it that way. Something like that. I don't dive that far deeply into it, but it's done when it's necessary for the mission. Of course, the government does their own stuff, and a lot of that's at a lower vibration because they're trying to control it. But yeah, there are positive alien forces involved, spirits involved, etc., stuff like that. So yeah, it's a weird world. It's on
Yeah.
TV. It must be real. But when you feel
Yes,
it,
yes.
yeah.
There's quite a bit of the clone reference in movies and TV shows and series, and they're telling us something. So we'd like to
Yep.
ask some questions.
Okay, let's get started. And
Somebody in, bring a couple of somebodies. Might
But
get weird. You might get people that you're not expecting to come through.
oh
well,
my
we'll
goodness.
leave it open. We're along for the ride.
Okay.
Since
Okay, it'll be
you're gonna get
different.
a clone.
There's gonna be a couple. I know there's gonna be a couple here.
All
There's
right.
one from a spirit, then one from the OK spirit, and then one from give you a different point of view from all
Goodness.
different points of view. Let's put it that way. So, all
Oh,
right, here we
wonderful.
go. All right, blessings.
Blessings. Let's start.
Here we go. Here we go. All right. Greetings, this is Michael. Blessings to you, Archangel Michael. Blessings.
Thank you for being here.
Blessings, Archangel Michael. Thank you for connecting.
Cloning energies. Yes. Well, I'll give you a little bit of a rundown. Well, many beings that feel it's a necessity, yes, to complete your contract. For a clone is usually done for a specific reason, like a version of you, for a specific task. And some are here for the long haul, some are here for short terms. Your darker cabal uses Hillary Clinton, for example. Yeah, she has many clone entities. Basically, from what we see, most of them have failed. So she's always changing her habits, her health habits, and she's connecting more to her darker aspect of herself. Of course, also the Bush administration is also known, especially your Daddy Bush, your WH or
Bush Senior.
Yes. That one has been a clone made. Of course, yes, director of the CIA is usually a clone energy in most of those in your government. Because the task at hand, so yes, some of the dark cabal wants to control, but also the positive uses their own clones to keep a positive tone going on also. So there is a little mix of both. So yes, if you sign up to be a politician at the higher levels, usually. And those that are running the show in secret, your cabal energies use a lot of clone energies. So they don't get their hands dirty. Like a lot of your Men in Black are clone beings, basically. They're different souls, but the energy is, the bodies are usually clone bias, right? They usually look pretty much the same. Depending on the person, of course. They do change the genes around, but it's pretty much the same being. Yes, they look different hair and color and all of that. But it is technically a clone, but looks different, but it's technically a clone. So, if there's any questions, please.
So how can you tell us a little bit more about the more positive clones and how often that happens and what are some instances where it does happen? And if there's like, I don't know, any facilities or something on Earth that does it.
That is usually done in spirit.
Oh, okay.
It does work with not all your alien energies are quite have a grasp of how things are working, but usually the soul already agrees upon the cloning. So it is usually done between the soul and spirit. Usually, positive alien beings usually don't do the cloning process unless absolutely have to. So, but usually it's once again a task of cloning your soul for your task at hand for the positives. Most souls here are not necessarily cloned. Some mothers clone themselves, actually.
Wow.
Because they want to live out the duration for their kids. Mm-hmm. So different aspects of them. You want to also bring another aspect into their life. So there's different ways of looking at it. You'd be surprised how motherhood is very known for cloning, actually.
Oh.
So a lot of them want to live the duration of their child's life. It's not always the case. It's like, and that's why they get so frustrated when they do die, because it's like, I did everything I could. I even cloned myself a couple of times. That didn't work either. It's not always 100%. So they're not, of course, physically aware of that, but astral-wise, they're aware.
So. I see. Thank you for that, Archangel Michael. Yeah, one of my first questions in regards to this was the cloning was how it affected reproduction, or how it affected the reproductive organs from the either being born in the physical from a clone mother, or the individual then has cloned through spirit for the positive, and then when they then have their offspring, is there how does the reproduction mechanics affected in any way through a clone vessel?
Usually it's done for the better. Usually a clone, having a child, usually the genetics are a lot better with a child, but not in all cases. That has to do so the genetics do not continue on with the family too, so you don't have Alzheimer's at a certain age through DNA. So a lot of that has been healed. And so, yes, that's where cloning. And it's done secretly. You don't always know, obviously, but many choose through spirit to go ahead with that. So not everyone, and sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes it becomes a lot worse, but they're already aware of the situation, though. So,
See, I have one more question. Thank you for that, Archangel Michael. One of the I should say key identifiers in an energy healing or energy session that I do is the health or the state of the nervous system in a client. Is when in a clone situation or a replacement situation, positive or negative, is there a new cloned nervous system that exchanges or takes place, or how much of the previous nervous system is still present once the clone is active?
Yeah, some of it is active. It is not fully transformed because you need that area for them to enter, the soul to enter, and all of the changes to come through. A lot of your Arcturians do assist with the cloning process. Depending on the Arcturian race, if you ask them to assist, a lot of Zetas are part of it too. Different alien species are involved. So they're not always like involved with like, oh, we're going to clone this person. Usually you make a deal in spirit and they come to assist. Like you choose to be born here, they come to assist. It's the same deal. They're not always aware of the whole details of it either. They're just here to do a specific job, just like you. And you have your job to go do a certain job, and then you go and you leave, and you don't know, like you're working at a factory. You don't know where all the components go. You just know where that one goes in. So that's what's going on with that. So it's more complicated than needs to be remembered, basically. In spirit, obviously, they have the full picture, but alien beings don't always necessarily need that knowledge. So
I see. So if there was a particular chakra that needed to be healed, if there was a particular past life that needed to be healed, if there was an implant, attachment, a cord in the anchor, and then the clone comes in and gets replaced through spirit, all of those same healing or things that need to be healed in the previous version also get transferred over to the new version? Does that happen?
Yes, it can, but usually everything gets kind of moved around. Nothing is over 100%. Like somebody cures themselves of cancer, sometimes as a clone energy, it just came in to just wipe that away. Not always the case of that, but there is. Now, some people do cure themselves, but a lot of it is a clone. It's easier just to throw in a clone and just have done with that.
Does a clone come in that has cancer?
Yes, it can.
Does it ever go backwards?
It can go. It can bring Alzheimer's. Here's some Alzheimer's.
Oh wow!
And that's actually quite common. So yeah, like do you hear about stories about your cabal giving you Alzheimer's? But realize spirit still runs the show, and they can bring, they can't alter it or get rid of it. Usually, it's not the case. It all depends on the situation, of course.
I see. Thank you for that.
Yes.
Thank you. So you did mention that some people have clones for the short run and for the long run. So in that time when, if it's a short run, where does like the main body stay? And this is saying that this is like a positive cloning.
Well, it happens like some souls are for the long, like you would have like clone energies. Some will have it when they're a child, like different clone energies will come in as you're growing up. And then you'll have one that show up like at 16 and then stay there until you're 50 or 40.
Oh.
All depends on what's going on. So it's like you don't really need to, make adjustments here and there. You don't really need to make a whole new suit, you can say.
Mm-hmm.
Unless you're going to like bring in new information or go into like have a whole new career set up and you need a whole new energy field to come in. It all depends on the person, of course.
Okay.
Like you're going to change your life around completely. So that has to do with contracts to give you a little bit of understanding. And those that have like the short cloning span, sometimes it comes in later in life. Like Hillary Clinton, that came in later in life. That wasn't around in the early stages of her life. So it's technically a shorter time than just having it as your child.
So would you say that Hillary Clinton has both a positive clone and a negative clone?
Yes, everybody does. Yes,
Oh, okay.
a medium one, too, a little bit of both.
Interesting.
They cast that one out.
Do I have?
Does Lonnie have a positive, a middle one, or a lower one, or all
Wait,
the above?
am I currently a clone
Well,
right now?
You can have clones on other realities.
Okay.
Or actually clones, not necessarily other versions of you. They experience that experience. So technically there are other clones. You're not experiencing that right now. But on other realities, yes, you are.
Okay. I'll keep
Like
that.
you have soul energy in a robot at this time.
Oh my goodness.
In other reality, yes, an android. And a robot mostly. A mechanical robot, yes.
Is it kind of like what's that one movie? Ghost in a Shell, like that?
With
No.
Scarlett
No.
Johansson?
Yeah.
More 1950s, looks like somebody's walking around a tin can.
I'm like C-3PO.
You
Not exactly, but something similar to like Lost in Space, more like it.
C3P Lonnie.
Now, the one that you're speaking of is not a clone. It's actually, that would say, another version of you that's like that.
Oh.
There's no cloning necessary for that.
Oh, okay.
So if you want to be a badass like that, yeah, that's a different story altogether.
Okay, well, I'll keep my current reality. Thank you.
Yeah.
Because your clone, well, yes, this other clone just wants to experience how to be slow,
Oh.
but mechanically, kind of like a turtle, like a mechanical turtle.
There you go.
There's more to it than that, but that reality is not that important right now. But
Is this common for most people to have a reality that
Oh, yes. Not usually. Clone entered, not necessarily. In this case, yes, but usually no. A lot of people don't have clones. It all varies. There's so many different people.
If we were to put a percentage of the population, what would we say that have experienced this form of clone?
Well, yes.
More negative or in the middle.
In this current reality.
Currently, right now, around 50 to 75%. I would say more than 50.
50% of the population?
Worldwide, though, everyone's had a clone experience somewhere in their existence.
Like
Somewhere.
existence in their current lifetime, or just
Another lifetime, another place, not currently happening at this point.
So everyone has had their version of it.
Yes.
Gotcha.
In some shape or form. It's a part of soul growth. It's another, now is it positive or negative? It's up to the person. A lot of that is part of Android AI energies. It's just a little bit easier. It's just, once again, another part of an experience.
I see. Thank you for that, Archangel
my
Michael.
turtle android.
You have another being that likes to come in, but it's up to you if you want to connect with it. But yeah, so if you have questions for me, please continue.
I just want to know more about cloning centers, but we can
bring in Prime Creator Energy is here for a moment.
Okay, we'll bring in.
Okay.
I can always come back if you want to ask. Okay, blessings to you all.
Sure.
Blessings.
Blessings to you, Mr. Prime Creator. Much love to you. Blessings. The reason for cloning is another fractal self. To give it into the hands of somebody else. Here is me. Have fun with that. Do it gentle. It's like giving somebody keys to your car.
Wow.
They can splice you up in little pieces, or they can make you really nice or really not so nice. Body wise and soul wise.
Oh,
great. Another aspect of that. So it is, yes, you're putting your hands into someone else's hands. But usually you're there managing it for the positive side, you're managing. For the darker, you just take whatever you can get. Well, I have those put soul contracts with those people that are running their clone existence. Politicians, for example, a lot of them would like to leave this planet because things aren't going their way. They want to go back to their dark empire where everything worked out for them. So they're stuck here. A lot of them hitting the eject button as many times as they can. So that is, yeah, when you sign up with a contract, like with the Cabal, positive or dark, what to say with the dark can be very tricky. And you can be offered all these great things just like they do in the Arab world. And then it's like, oh, all I got was a chicken sandwich out of this. I didn't get the luxuries and all of the what I was planning on getting. So it all depends. Yes, Men in Black are part of a different aspect of cloning. But you all came here to experience, yes, the science fiction reality, as you can see. And yes, TV is giving you glimpses of it because you want to know. It's coming through fiction and nonfiction because your consciousness is ready to see the full picture of it. You're ready to see it. That's why it'll probably become more a part of your society. Is just you're ready to unzip the reality that you're currently in. Take it more seriously, and you'll get stronger, of course. If you have any questions, please.
Thank you for that, Prime Creator. Yeah, if we were to kind of shift it to the darker aspect, when was these technologies introduced? Was this like Atlantean times, or was this really even way before that?
Well, aliens always had a partial connection to it, yes. Spirit usually, but let's put Atlantean, yes, but it was before that. Archon, more archonic technologies. Done for various reasons. Archons would rather just everybody be the same, look the same, talk the same, just keep it easy. The rest of you is like, God, is that boring? Of course, the Archon's like, yeah, that is pretty boring, but we enjoy it anyway. They enjoy all aspects of creation. So yes, if you go into a room, there's a whole bunch of beings that look similar to you. That's very much an Archon experience. That can be positive or negative. It doesn't necessarily have to be negative. It can be used for negative. Any technology, like a car, can be used for positive or negative. It was not necessarily made to be negative. It can be used for anything, just like a tool in a toolbox, basically. It just another aspect. They just Archons discovered that while they were developing their own race, and found out, hey, isn't it easier if we all just look the same?
Wow.
We can all wear the same clothes. Of course, that only lasts. There are societies where everybody looks the same. That's a whole lot of fun, but
Yes.
So to give you more, yes, there is the darker aspect is always the dark is very good at bringing things out. You probably wouldn't even talk about cloning if it wasn't for them. So it does have its positives, as you can see. So
yes.
Go ahead, please, if you have a question.
Is it? I guess what can be shared publicly. Is it a piece of, let's just as an example, we're just going to use Lonnie as an example.
Please
if I just take like a little M&M size part of Lonnie's soul and then plug it into a clone, and then when Lonnie goes to sleep, her consciousness knows where her soul is, the other aspects of her soul. So consciousness will transfer to the M&M size piece of the soul in the active clone. This is just what I've read up on and how I've kind of picked these things up. How do they do that? How do they piece off just a little fractal part of someone's soul? Is this with black goo, dark matter? How is this? I guess what can be publicly? How is this taken?
Technically, your skin, your hair, your face, everything. I just wanted to mention all that, but you think you got the idea. Is all you. So technically, they can take some of your hair and clone your hair, and that's a good enough. It's like we wanted to obey what we wanted to do. If we wanted to think for itself, we'll grab more hair and more DNA. So they can take it from hair follicles at this time. The soul is connected to everything. Now the soul can say, "I'm not doing that," and then reject it, screw it. So just get whatever they can remnants of it. So that's at a higher dimension, how it's operating. Most of them use technologies. Arcturians don't need to use technologies. Well, they use it to a certain extent, but they can use their own vibration to talk to you. It's like, here you are. Here's Nick in my hand. There's Nick over there. Hi, Nick. How are you? Now you're both talking to us. That's really weird. It's like, we're going to put you in this other body. Sure. I want to. That's
Thanks.
creepy, isn't it?
Wow.
That's how it works. So it depends on the being. Now, lower dimensional governments, they stick you with something and they get DNA and because they want to control you. So they don't want you. I mean, they have to give you some, be able to time to breathe and all that. They don't want to self-destruct. They want a clone that's like a decent. So there's always different versions of clones. I can have a whole room of them. Most of them you can probably throw out because they're just falling apart instantly. But yeah, for you to have the same body structure and all that, yes, they can even go through hair follicles and they've had enough advancement. Like you say, like Jurassic Park, they can take it from other places and put it together. It's close enough. Especially when you age, it looks like a big hamburger when you get older. It's like, cloning didn't work out so well on this one.
Too much cow in that one.
Exactly. So it's just, but usually they get to the exact, yes, they have a pretty good exact science. Your blood is another area they can pull in, which is part of your hair and all the blood. Blood plays a big role in it. They also, in your foods and all of that, makes it easier to clone people these days.
Oh, dang.
Isn't that nice? So you're basically all being, prepped for cloning, basically.
Yeah. Oh, my goodness.
It's kind of creepy, but
You.
it is normal for most worlds, so similar to yours. Now, on Palladium, there are worlds, Palladium worlds, Syrian worlds, is like, we don't need any of that. But then again, you want to be a part of everything here, so this is the zoo. The zoo of everybody. So I was like, over there we have cloning. Over here we have, non-cloning. They're no fun.
Thank you. How can, well, for the viewers, how can someone identify a clone? Like in my experience, when I look in someone's eyes, and in my mind's eye, I'll see kind of like, so it looks just like a dark hallway. When I look into someone's eyes, I'll see a dark hallway, but I'm really seeing it in my mind's eye to where I can tell that person is really in other parts and places, not in this physical form right in front of me. So that's how I've been able to identify when I come across some of these clones. But what are some other ways to identify for the audience to really be able to pick this stuff up?
Well, here we're going to use you as an example, not cloning side, but how you're tapping into that.
Sure.
Think of yourself as like a spiritual doctor, a spiritualist. How many are really like that on your planet? There are some, but there are certain specialties.
Like 5.
Your specialty, as you can see, is cloning part of it. You want to just know it all. You want to see, not to be a know-it-all, but you want to see what's going on because you don't want to miss anything. So you made it. Another thing is that you connect to the higher self. This is for others. If a person feels like they need to know, they'll know. They'll figure it out. But another way to give you go to the higher self. It's like, okay, I know something's going on here. Give me some information here. Oh, you're a clone. Yeah, I kind of suspected that. So you're kind of, you're an astral. You're already picking up on it. So like with your technique is already, you have a certain type of science you want to know about, spiritual science. Not everybody, people are just trying to get through the day. But with your energies, you're just trying to spoon out the nonsense and get to, what's going on in the inner workings. So that's part of because you want to know what's going on with them. So connecting to your higher self, just like seeing through them, it's like, am I allowed to connect to your energy just to, what I'm allowed to see? And someone would say, oh, by the way, I was made in a laboratory. Here you go. Almost, whatever it might be.
I'm a test tube baby.
Those are real too. Test tube
Yes.
baby.
Yes, the movies are showing how easy it is done. Your Prometheus, your the second one, showing how easy it is. The one after Prometheus shows how easy it is. Like, hey, we have a whole room full of babies to be born.
Yeah.
Their Illuminati is speaking. They have to let some stuff out to show how easy it truly is.
Yeah.
Oh yes,
See.
they perfected it enough to. Yeah, it's perfected enough.
And those test tube babies, do they have a soul? The clone test tube babies.
They have the openings for the soul. Sometimes they just create the embryo just for the baby, just as the body of it, and they haven't allowed the soul to come in just yet. But there is a soul ready to come in. They just have to open it up for it. So it's like they're already ready to come in. Energies are just like they're just ready to dive in any chance they get. You just have to open up DNA wise for it to come in. So yeah, same like with abortion. There are reasons for a person to want to abortion for many reasons. Financially, rape is an excellent reason. But that should be allowed because it's your person. A lot of people are because of the religious beliefs, but basically you should be allowed to do whatever you want with your body and not let anybody tell you what to do. Religions are really messing with that. And if that is a murder of that baby, that's between the mother and the soul. That's not necessarily the doctor because she asked the doctor. I mean, a little bit. Karma will go to the doctor, very little. Mostly between the parent and the baby. That's really because the parents just go for it, just get it out of there. So, and everyone else is making it their business through religious reasons. So, yeah. I mean, it's unfortunate to put them into, but we wanted to give you some insight on that.
Thank you for that, Prime Creator. This is something I've picked up, something I've identified. Let's say a celebrity energy that I picked up on that does have an active clone.
Yes.
I can see that I don't know how to say it. Their consciousness stream is been heavily temporally distorted when it gets sent off to maybe one active clone, two active clone, three active clones, and having to kind of package that together. Like, how is that something that the soul agrees upon, but is it also something that needs to be healed, or something that maybe even something from a past life get carried over to this life to be healed?
Yes.
Like how does that work?
Well, first off, like we'll just use an actor, Bradley Cooper. We'll just have fun with this.
Okay.
Just grab one out of the jar. Okay, we're gonna push him aside. Some souls want to get recognition, as you can tell. Hey, everybody likes me. Everybody loves me. Now there's a camera in my face 24 hours a day. Not sure if this is working out as well as I thought it would. Those souls can be easily controlled too, like thoughts. As many of you know, thoughts can be added in, but with an actor, it can be really added in. We want to throw this part in too. Like Meg Ryan, notice that she's very popular, beautiful, popular, and all of a sudden she gets plastic surgery. It's almost like we don't need you anymore. You can put yourself, erase yourself from Hollywood. And she kind of changed her face and kind of like pushed to the side. She probably even feels that. A lot of healing can be done with that. It's like, hey, we connected to a cloning center that you're connected to called Hollywood. You're looking for a cloning center. It's right there, right in front of you. Yes, that is connected to your dulce, definitely. And they are being shipped out, technically. DNA-wise, DNA farms. Yes, it is quite creepy, and that's where your Mars comes in, because some of these are perfected in Mars because they can't be done in this environment and born naturally into your planet. So they're like grown here, the bodies taken to Mars to be prepped embryo wise, and then even the parents can be clones themselves to bring the kid in. Clones itself, oh, we live a perfect life, or we live a really hard life, whatever it might be. There's always a story there somewhere, isn't there?
Mm-hmm.
And there's somebody there, working on their story in a computer desk or something like that. Yes, it is very science fiction, but that's what your Mars is used for.
I see.
So it makes a lot of sense when you think about it. It is, you can't prove it for obvious reasons. They don't want you tapping into their own Hollywood production, the Hollywood behind the Hollywood. There's actually many layers there. So to go back to a Meg Ryan, though, those type of actresses or actors would be fascinating to open up that world. Wow, there's a lot of deep healing there. A lot of lack of love in the past. Had a great time being an actor, being somebody else. But now I want to be me. And now my face has all been plastic surgery. It's like, what happened to me? Well, that's the elite kind of tossing you out so you don't come back again. If you do, you're never the same again. So that's part of the contract. But it's also a self-love journey that's very deep. There's more to it, but I think you have the idea.
Thank you for that, Pram Creator. Can you explain or share how it happens when the anchor of someone transitions or passes away? The anchor died, but they had 1 or 2 or 3 active clones. But the active clones can still stay functional, can still stay alive with a little piece of the soul while the anchor is already transitioned and on the other side. Maybe sometimes this happens in celebrities, a Marilyn Monroe type energy, or Michael Jackson or whatever. How does that function where the anchor is already deceased, but a clone will still stay active in the cloning center?
Well, that is give you why some of these actors, we'll just use actors for example, yes, why they look like somebody in the past.
Yep.
And nod. Even your Obama was very Egyptian because he was made in a laboratory. So it tells you how old this has been going on. Yes, for a human, it's like, what are you talking about? We just got the typewriter a couple years ago. They're talking about clones, and what the hell are you people talking about? They're talking about aliens. It's a whole different story. But yes, it goes on forever. Yes, they can last for thousands of years. Doesn't mean the clone will be active. It can be kept in a vault and not used. But yes, they'll hold on to it. Yes. Oh yes, many souls from Egyptian, Atlantean are still being held today. Yes, have not been unleashed yet. So
and these are like souls and the body.
Yes, and the soul already made the contract for it. Sure, you can keep my clones. Some, it's like I want my clones back. I want to get rid of all. Then they have like I say, a clone war. Would make an interesting movie, wouldn't it? You have an Egyptian, emperor. It's like I want to get my soul back. I want to get my soul back, basically.
Wow.
Interesting.
I'm gonna share this. So I've in different energy healing techniques, some astral work, some of the stuff that I do. I've been able to shut down an active clone and recapture that piece of soul and put it back into the anchor. I've been able to so far perform this 100% success rate the times I've done this. Am I doing this in assistance with that person's soul or guides or spirit team? Like it's not just me. I bring the squad. My first question is how is that link severed and healed? Like what's happening in the astral world or realms? Because when I suck up that soul, it feels like a water fire hydrant kind of shooting through me with water, like from the bottom to the top. Even when the anchor is already passed away and transitioned, and then I've shut down those active clones and recaptured the soul and put it back on the other side. Can you share a little bit? So the reason why I'm asking this question is I don't want the audience to get too scared or freaked out about this stuff. There's nothing to be worried about. There's answers and ways to fix all of these things and solve all of these things and bring it back to neutral point. and I've done so from my own experience. And if somebody wants to ask questions, we can do that at another time. But I'd like to get, like, I know because I've had this experience, but is there a way, can you share what happens on the astral's interpretation when I perform these type things?
Well, that is an agreement you've had to like fire extinguish those, to bring the souls back, clear everything out. That does not always happen, but yes, can happen. And some do it in astral after they passed away. Oh, nobody's looking over this, so we could just kind of remove those. They have ways of doing it. Alien energies can help with that too. That's not always the case. Most of them are, like you say, call it distinguished. It's cleared out. Majority. There are some that the elite do hold on to, and some souls agree on that. So it's just another part of soul expansion. Like you say, like Keanu Reeves, some people say, "Oh, that's interesting. It was like there's an old version of him back in the 1800s or wherever it was." That's not a coincidence.
Yeah.
Same with others. So, like you say, your average person, a lot of them aren't even cloned in general, but those that are usually just. Some of them leave their clone energies here to see what will happen with it. Just, see where it goes. I was like, they want to keep remnants of themselves. Grandmothers do it because they want to stay with their kids, but they want to be reincarnated again with the family. So there's a lot of stuff there. Yes, a clone can be reincarnated, but that can usually go pretty well. So it's not all end all be all. No. Yes, your science fiction, it can be very positive, yes. So
I see.
So what happens is a grandmother energy can be reincarnated through the family, eventually through a child, and then eventually have themselves reincarnated again through other family members. So through a clone energy, it can be done to that. So that's why the family kind of looks the same over time.
Interesting.
And the aliens do assist with that. Yes, go ahead, please.
I saw a picture of, I think it was Nicolas Cage.
Yes.
Yeah, I saw like an old picture, maybe like the 1800s of him, and it looked so much like him. I was like,
yes.
I don't know what this is, but this is like, I don't think this image is fake.
No, he's actually a lion being, a Lyran, feline energy through the past. And he's kind of, he's like very flamboyant at times. He's got a mission here. He just can't seem to let go of this role. He gets very aggravated, but he feels like he needs to be a part of it no matter what. So, yes, that is part of that.
Oh, interesting.
Thank you for that. Is there karma occurred during any form of these cloning processes? Is there ever like a situation or scenario where negative karma is exchanged or positive karma is exchanged through these cloning type exchanges?
All the time. Yes, there's usually positive, but yes, you can have like sometimes a clone won't be reincarnated, but it can also influence. And like a family will have like unexpected twins or 3 children or 4 children that all look the same. Clone energies can be involved with that. Some don't wish to go, so they have their DNA that's involved with. It gets, yes, kind of strange. With the darker cabal, that's where it gets really weird. A lot of the positive stuff is more through astral, through spirits. It's usually very clean for the most part. When you get to the darker aspects, like if you're going to create beings that are going to be dictators, things like that, or soldiers of that dictator is usually where the clones are usually done. And that's where it gets kind of bizarre, as you know.
So Hitler is a clone.
Soldiers. There is energies of that, yes.
So is the Hitler that died, is that the clone or the real Hitler?
There's several Hitlers at once, so there's not. I guess they're all necessarily the real Hitler, technically.
Oh, okay.
Last question, Prime Creator.
Mm.
And you see it a lot where like a celebrity will pass on or transition or get shot, whatever it may be. If it's a celebrity with a big enough following, how often, or are there scenarios where it's actually the clone that gets killed or gets shot, and the real one is often a, I don't know, celebrity retirement island? You know, like, I don't know, like a Tupac or a Biggie Smalls,
I was
where
totally thinking that, yeah.
like that they brought in a clone Tupac and killed the clone Tupac, while the anchor was you know, lives happily ever after. It's like, how often do these scenarios happen?
There are a few scenarios like that. Usually it's on a remote island where they can't be found. And usually they keep such a low profile. Hey, you look like such and such. Yeah, but we don't. Usually it's a place where nobody knows what any of that is. Africa is an excellent place, or islands out in your Pacific or in your Atlantic, where people don't really pay attention to any of that. Everyone looks the same. Nobody pays attention. So yes, it's actually quite easy to, or Russia. Russia is very disconnected from your media. So yes, it is. It doesn't happen frequently, but for the little bits, it is common though for that. Some politicians would rather just spend their days somewhere else. Who's going to remember them? So.
Well, that answers it for my questions. We'll leave it open if there's any other last messages from Spirit.
Yes, there's another perspective here if you want to dive into that just for a little bit longer. Is that okay?
Sure.
Yeah, that's nice. Greetings, dudes. This is HM, the Men in Black. Greetings to you all. Greetings. Reptilians are really enjoying this conversation at this time. Just to let you know.
Yes. I can smell them.
Yes, they're trying to keep their odor so you can't smell them.
Yeah.
So yes, they do. Reptilians, yes, they're called master geneticists, some word like that. They also use gray technologies to manipulate the mind. So nothing but the looks aren't always that important. The mind is the most important thing. Because like Dave Chappelle, for example, he looks kind of the same, but not really yes and no. But the mind, that's kind of, it's being controlled, and that's what matters most. It's doing the job they want it to do. Now, it's pre-programmed before they let her out of the bag, but celebrities are celebrity is mostly a cloning center all around. It's basically controlling the minds. Because if you have a celebrity that's very attractive mentally and physically, but mentally like funny, it's usually pulling the masses. Now, even your music, as you know, is kind of like hypnotic music nowadays, as you can probably tell. All sounds the same. It's all hypnotic. It's all just hypnotizing the hell out of humanity. So, yes, what you are... Yeah, you even began to see, like, in your third eye, like, almost like a face. You want to know how you can pick up on a clone, like, almost like their face is kind of deteriorating, even if it's not physically, but you feel like something's wrong with your face, because it shows that there's really, it's kind of falling apart. The clone is kind of not doing so well with that. We're more so talking about the negative aspects of it. The positive ones, positive clones can be like angels, can be very young, and the soul can just stay, very fit and live actually a pretty healthy life. Can't even have cancer, but they realize that's part of the soul for your growth, and even live pretty positive with that. Don't need a nursing home or anything. I'm driving around at 90 years old, stuff like that. Not all of them like that, but some are. That's more positive. The negative is more of just decrepit, falling apart. So sometimes they get plastic surgery to hide their falling apartness. They're just not looking good. It's like, so the wiring in the mind is sometimes with celebrity clones, when they get older, they're not easy to control anymore. So they kind of like, fall apart. There's another actor, I can't think of his name, but it's not important. If you have any questions, please, if there are any.
So, what makes them harder to control with age?
It depends on the person. If the contract of what they need them for is expired, you done what you did. You were the was a $6 million man. You're just flying, jumping all over the place. Actor. Everybody wants to be like you. Now you're old. Sometimes they'll keep that up. It's like, okay, you're old. We can switch off the control. Go do your life. Go do whatever you want. It's like, I don't know who I am right now. So, but sometimes with the older ones, some can fight back. There's a lot of that. You can say some actors that die young fought back. Heath Ledger is one of them because he was definitely cloned. If you're getting popular, if you're on Facebook and you got like over 1,000 followers, oh yeah, you're definitely cloned. Not always cloned in the beginning, but if you get popular, they didn't see it coming. Oh yeah, you're on the anything to do with entertainment. Lady Gaga has been cloned. She looks a lot different than she did in the past. She's fluctuating. She doesn't show what she's doing. And she's played different roles, but she still has a major audience there. Mm-hmm. Does she know she's cloned? Not likely. She's trying to figure out herself, so they're playing with her mind. But over time, possibly. I think she'll be pretty cool with it. It's like, of course I am. Duh. People Magazine. Anyone on People Magazine is most likely a clone. Those are running People Magazine are your elite, and they're not cloned. Usually not. So pick up People Magazine. Like, Illuminati Magazine for the week. What should I be thinking today?
Yeah, I stopped reading those like a long time ago.
Yes, very good. So the programming did what it needed to do, but it's good for you. Sometimes you need to just glimpse through it and see what the hell is going on. That's nothing wrong.
Yeah.
So whether it's YouTube, whether it's Twitch, whether it's some form of social media, whether it's some form of music or entertainment, or anybody with a large enough following
in the public eye,
there's a high possibility that individual is cloned for the negative.
The positive, we want to add the positive, most likely not. Yes, the negative, YouTube, not likely. They're watched. Like David DeFranco, we don't see him being cloned. He's watched, but not cloned.
David Franco?
David, is that his name? David DeFranco is somebody on YouTube.
Okay.
Whoever his name is. He's a news person that... Either way.
It's interesting. So if you're a YouTube star, you're relatively
most
safe.
likely not. No, now if you're an actor like Will Smith's a different story.
Oh.
So they are prepped from the beginning. Now YouTube stars are not taking that seriously. At least through the elites, not likely, because that's more of like the breaking out of the control. Even if YouTube itself, those running it are clones. Highly likely. But those on it, not necessarily, because this is the light working in. It's like we're not going to be part of it. Alex Jones, he's not cloned. Jesse Ventura, not cloned. If he does have a clone, it's a positive one. Give you a little bit of detail on that. So to give you more, but celebrities, anything through the machine, your ABC, Fox News, your major, that's a cloning energy all through it. Even some CEOs that don't want the GE CEO that was really popular in your 80s clone. So to give you a little bit of ask, because that was more Illuminati energy.
How about Steve? What's his name? Apple
Steve
Jobs was?
No.
Or
yes and no. It didn't go so well. They were mostly trying to assassinate, as you know. The rumors are true. Let's put it that way. Oh yeah, he made a lot of people mad. It's like, we're taking your clones away. We're not letting you live forever. Forget that. Yeah, you notice he had all his health problems. He was going against everything of the cabal. So, and the positive did what they could, but he was kind of out there. There was, you could say he took that's a complicated situation, but there were clones at one time, yes. So, and you can say technically there are still here, but not being utilized at this time. So,
I see.
give you some detail on that.
All right.
How about Instagram stars?
Some of them, yes.
Oh, okay.
Just
Instagram.
open that up, yes. Notice how perfect some of them look. Some of them have been in the laboratory, yes. You're right. Those that the more perfect they look, yes. YouTube, you don't have that many pretty faces on it. Yes, some, but mostly it's a whole bunch of ugly.
Pretty faces are on Instagram.
Exactly. Yes, Instagram's a different story. Yes.
Oh.
There are, yes. Mostly female, some male, mostly female. You're correct. Oh, yes. Test tube babies done. Yep. Some positive, mostly not, but no judgments. That's their side. They can be positive or negative. It's up to them. They're part of a programming the masses. Like People Magazine, it's there to want you to be like, you want to be these people. That's what that was there for. Not just to program you, but when you really want to be like, I want to be like that person and wear their same clothes. Like Kim Kardashian, she's going to live forever, as far as we know. Until the influence goes away. And she's got clones, definitely. Mom does too. Mom was like, clone those babies. Clone them to just keep cloning.
So sad.
OJ Simpson has a clone too.
The
OJ.
whole clan. Just
Oh yeah, that's a Illuminati family basically. It's at a lower tier. It's more like the worker bees. Because if you're a Illuminati and you don't work, that's your but if you're a worker in the public eye, you're definitely lower on the tier. Because if you have to work and you're not seen, you're pretty high. Even if you have to work, you're still, in finances and all that. It was kill the economy. Let's hit a button, whatever. But those that are actors are usually lower on the swimming pool. They're still doing pretty well. So yes, they do blow up her butt on purpose. It seems.
That is so funny. Is there anything else you'd like to share with us about clones? Anything that we should be aware of that you're able to share? Or anything that you would like to let us know?
Maybe in the future, go through our or part 2 of this through a reptilian point of view, maybe through the dragon point of view. You get not necessarily going to be a negative point of view, but just a different perspective, even a feline point of view, because that had a lot to do with humans being invented, or Archon point of view. So a little bit of a series that's up to you of like an Archon point of view would probably be quite fascinating.
Interesting.
There's a lot of areas. Yeah, a lot of souls just rather be a clone. I mean, the soul is always duplicating itself anyway, other aspects of you. So that's technically a clone.
I see.
So you're constantly reinventing yourself. Like Steve Jobs, like he keeps cloning himself in spirit. And then he created this one that the current one you have here. It took many versions of him to get to who he has here. Now you can also say that the younger Jobs and the older Jobs are two different people.
Yeah,
because it built it up, but in the middle of him taking over Apple, in that next, was in that middle company. That's where the transition came in. Mostly during Pixar, when Pixar started picking up, the more responsible Jobs came in. The pain in the ass. Sometimes you can't fix lazy or ego. Sometimes you just can't fix that. Sometimes. I mean, that one, the ego one, was with that Jobs, but we believe that was another Jobs altogether. Okay. Makes sense.
One last question, this is what's right now the NBA, National Basketball Association championships is going on. Are they all of them are being replaced through injuries and all that? I can see it on the camera.
Correct.
When it's another version.
Yes, correct.
With different ailments, or now it's this injury or that injury. So it's for public consumption if they're out for X amount of days from a calf or a hamstring or whatever. But they're replaced all the time.
Yes.
Yeah.
Correct. Yeah, that's all clone center. But baseball too, it's mostly, yes, in their NBA, I mean, football. It's mostly in your basketball. Actually, that's one of the heaviest because those are all strange. The other ones that can handle a little bit better. We got all these tall people. Usually, they're kind of a rare breed. I mean, you can get anybody to play football. If that one gets knocked out, oh, just throw somebody else in there. Basketball is a little bit harder to get a tall black guy or a tall somebody. It's a little bit harder to come by.
Yeah.
So it's the energies of cloning are a lot stronger there, and all of that is injuries and all that. A lot of that can be healed instantly, but they choose not to. It's all gambling. It's like I gamble that this guy's going to hurt himself. Oh, he just happened to hurt himself. Wow, that's pretty. That's more the higher weights involved with that. So, oh yeah, so there's shadow gambling going on definitely.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, so you think this coach is going to get kicked out? We'll find out. And they play dirty and stuff like that.
How about UFC then? Because they have so much, UFC and boxing, they get injured so many times.
You talking about boxing?
Different boxing sport or UFC?
Sometimes, usually no, because they want to just see the person get pounded. Not so much your what is his name, Mike Tyson. He doesn't do well with clones.
Oh.
They're hard to control. See, their minds aren't working, and cloning doesn't work that well when the brain's all messed up. Now, if you throw a clone in there and all of a sudden he's acting like he's Martha Stewart, just like he's totally different. Oh, I want to just go into financing. Now that can't happen. But it's like the brain plays a big role in this. The brain is usually damaged as a boxer, so usually just leave that alone. Sometimes they can't clone body parts and stuff like that. Yes, organs and things like that they can fix. Can't fix the brain once that's yes and no, but yes, but usually no.
I see.
Brain plays a big part in it. There's always layers to all this, but you have an idea.
Interesting.
It's quite complicated. Yes.
That's all the questions I have.
Yes.
Yeah, that's it for my questions.
Anything you have to share?
Give you 3 different perspectives.
Yeah.
There's many more. So it's up to you if you want to continue different perspectives of cloning. Give some ideas of clear the fear. Yes, no reason for fear. It's only fear is what you give it. If you have no fear, there's nothing to fear. So most your average general people don't have that. So blessings to you from the unknown.
Blessings.
Blessings to you all. Your creation process. Much love. Greetings.
Hey, Ivan.
Hope that was entertaining.
Well, that was fun.
I know the last one's gonna be Men in Black.
Yeah,
like,
I felt that right. They're around, so I'm not sure how that was gonna go, but
I wasn't sure. I was like, oh man, this is so weird because like I don't know. They're like gonna yank my leg, this interesting. But then I'm like, it's probably like the higher aspect of them. So it's like
it's white hat, you can say.
Yeah.
And I was smelling like cigarette smoke, and that's happened a few times before. But that's how I was like, oh, okay. And I'm like, in that case, let me ask some deeper questions. Let's really get the party going. Yeah. But yeah, I felt presence. But like I said, no fear. The only fear is what you give it, and that's
how you heal.
Mm-hmm.
Not judge, not fear, and just point of view. That's how the universe. I mean, that's how the universe works. More that you're just have an open mind to everything.
So like when the Men in Black person came in, I don't know, right here started hurting. Yeah, I don't know.
Hurt. So he was connecting to that chakra.
No, I don't think so.
He was connecting to that chakra, obviously. Seems to be.
But why? My higher heart.
He was talking. I mean, it is their throat chakra, right?
It's not here. It's like right here, my higher heart.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
We can fix that.
Yeah, I'm just wondering, like, why?
Maybe it's fear. Maybe just like it's an unusual. I don't know.
Yeah, right. And then later on, like right here started hurting. I'm like, okay, whatever. I give up.
We had company. They're probably just poking you, trying to.
Probably. Yeah, they came in with, you felt reptilian. I mean, I know it was reptilian. Somebody else showed up with that. So
Yeah, we can fix that.
yeah, we'll get you right back.
Yeah, Lonnie 2.0. Hey.
Hey,
1.4.
we just cloned you right when that happened. Look at that.
What chakra? What higher heart chakra?
You guys, I'm already cloning different reality, okay?
All right.
I'm a slow turtle android.
Can't wait till I line that up.
That's for patience.
Oh yeah, we all know I do not like that.
Kind of like the Tin Man. Yeah, something like that.
At least let me be like C-3PO. Like he's at least cool.
I think you're working up to that. You're still in the early stages of it.
Gonna take some more versions, you know what I'm saying? So
Would you ever see Spaceballs? You can be that that female. Was it
Sound good.
well, it doesn't sound good,
George
but
Rivers? Yeah.
it was a comedic little spoof on Space.
Oh, you haven't seen Spaceballs? Hey guys.
No, this is
Oh,
sound
you will make the connection right there. Yeah. With your incarnations. It's robot. Yeah.
No. Decline. Thank you.
Making a Pizza the Hut. He ate himself.
What?
Oh my gosh.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, I didn't really. I'm not gonna do a video on this one.
Okay.
So we could roll with this.
Yeah.
And
all right. We're so
Yes. Hey guys, I hope you guys liked our conversation right now.
That's all good.
And enjoyed the clone talk. If you guys really are interested, we don't mind doing a part 2 and have like the archons, or I don't know. Dragon sounds pretty interesting. I don't know why that was brought up.
That'd be weird.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe we can just do a whole entire segment on dragons in general and have their perspective on clones too.
That'd be good.
Yeah, or something. But yeah, if you guys have any suggestions on certain topics you're interested in, feel free to comment below. Yeah. Thank you guys. Have a good rest of June.
All right. Show everyone, and we'll return.
When we return.
So when Game of Thrones is over, so
It's already over.
we'll figure something out. All right.